Well, Christmas came early for us Steeler fans this week. 20-12 victory sealed up a playoff spot for us.
Playoffs?
We're talking about practice.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome fans to this Week 16 recap of the Pittsburgh Steelers game. I am your host, Jim Sella. I'm in studio with Jay Dash and Jeff Keel. I'm sure we're all feeling pretty good after that wild party Johnny Parlay threw last night and a Steeler victory today.
Yeah, it took the Big Easy out of commission today.
Big Easy can't stand up.
Invented a new shot, though.
Unbelievable. Easy got a man up.
He was doing shots of Crown Royal with meatballs in it.
Well, that's just stupidity.
It's pretty funny to see, though.
Let's talk about this Steeler game. Enough about Easy's nasty eating habits.
First things first, quarterback pressure.
Yeah, Pittsburgh had mad pressure on Alex Smith today.
6 sacks, Jim.
6 sacks and 8 QB hits. 20% of the sacks the Steelers have for the whole year came today.
I'll tell you what, I mean, the defense really came through for us today. 12 points, 4 field goals, critical holds, timely turnover. What do you think?
I think the one big play they made in the first half was when KC faked the first field goal and got the first down, and then they still held them to a field goal after that.
That was huge.
Absolutely.
If Pittsburgh gives up 7 right there, it's heartbreaking to the defense. It's a little heartbreaking to the offense. They kind of I feel like, no, I have to go out and get 7, and then they're pressing, and it could end up bad.
Yeah, really, at the end of the first half, I said to myself, the defense looked ugly, but they only let up 6 points. So really the problem with KC in the first half was not scoring in the red zone and the defense holding them, but really they were passing all over the field against our defense. But it's not really surprising. We've seen it all year. And like we said, they've been able to stop the run and make most offenses one-dimensional.
Well, one of our fans, T-Lats, called out James Harrison, said he was going to have a big game this week.
Yeah, I was wondering
sacks
who that
and a
was.
fumble recovery or a forced fumble.
Good call.
He didn't have the forced fumble, but he did have a big game, a lot of QB pressures, and 1.5 sacks. Big game by Harrison. Big game by the defense all around. Proud of them today.
Hayward.
Yeah,
Great
Timmons
game.
and Hayward look real good today.
We had 24 tackles from our 2 middle linebacker spots between Timmons, Williams, Spence, and Shazier. And it's funny that Timmons anchors one side by himself while it takes 3 dudes to anchor the other side.
Tackling fuel.
It's been linebacker by committee for Pittsburgh for a while this year, though. James Harrison's been in and out. Jarvis Jones has been in and out. You got Moats playing. You got Worlds playing. You got Spence playing. You got Williams playing. Shazier. It's pretty much just linebacker by committee other than Timmons.
Antoine Blake,
Tackling fuel.
he looked okay today. He doesn't look good in the passing game, but he gets it done. I don't even know how to say it.
He's an aggressive player.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds you a lot of an old young Ike Taylor.
Except for he probably knows how to spell Ike. I like Blake's physical play, but I think that he more suits a nickelback spot. He's a little small to play that outside edge and go up against some of those bigger receivers. If we could find somebody in the offseason somehow to anchor that one outside corner position and really shut down a
Do
receiver.
it in the draft, man. They never want to do it.
I know they're not going to spend big money. I'm not looking for that. We found Ike Taylor in the 4th round, and we turned him into a pretty good corner. So, maybe somebody in the top 3 rounds, maybe not first. I don't want them to reach. If they end up with probably around between 20 and 25 pick in the draft after making the playoffs this year, you don't take somebody just because you need it if they're the 60th ranked player.
Pick.
Well, I hope they have the 32nd pick for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but this defense looked good today. Again, stopping the run. Jamal Charles, 9 carries for just 29 yards. He did have 5 catches for 48 yards, but that's nothing. That's shutting down Jamal Charles, and that's really why this defense looked good to me.
Well, we said no big plays for the offense from Kansas City, and Big Easy was a little confused because he didn't know that a run over 30 yards is considered a big play. But, yeah, we shut down Charles real well. We didn't let any passes get over the top. We let Kansas City's offense pick up yards, but not in huge chunks, kind of little methodically. And then we had that bend but don't break in the red zone and only gave up 4 field goals, 3 in the red zone. The defense looked real good. They definitely won us this football game.
Yeah, I'm still saying the defense doesn't look too bad. I know they seem to let up a lot of points this season, but they actually only let up 24 points or less in 6 of their last 7 games.
The Steelers are 7-2, I think, in their last 9 games.
Yeah, they're in beast mode right now.
Everybody who is worried about this team and says they have no chance, I'm not calling them a lock because I don't see a lock at any locker room in the NFL right now. I don't think Seattle looks like a lock. I don't think New England looks like a lock. Every team that's good has played poorly at some point of the season. So Pittsburgh looks to me to have just as good as a chance to win the Super Bowl as anybody else.
I might give it to New England there, but yeah, there's a lot of mediocre teams in football right now. One thing I want to say is I cannot stand Kansas City. I hate this football team with a passion. Who was this guy? Lance Walker, Vince Walker? What was this guy's name?
Vance douchebag, maybe. He tried to reach out and kick Ben's leg out from under him.
That's ridiculous. Just because your team's doing horrible, you got to do a little bitch move like that. Why don't you go kick Alex Smith? He's been sucking all year. It's the reason you're going to miss out on the playoffs.
He probably listens to Jesse the Body Ventura's podcast instead of ours.
That's right. You should be going after Alex Smith. That's what I'd be doing. No touchdown passes. Again.
He's garbage. His name should be Alex Garbage.
Then again, it's kind of weird for me to be complaining about him not throwing a touchdown pass against my Pittsburgh Steelers, but
it's just fun to make fun of him.
He actually ended up with 91 more yards than Big Ben. Big Ben only had 220 yards passing and the lone touchdown today.
Well, the one thing that worried me a little bit in this game is, again, Pittsburgh, no touchdowns in the first quarter. Yep. They were only up 10-6 at halftime. The offense just needs to start a little faster. When you get into the playoffs, I don't want to wait till the fourth quarter to start scoring points.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you don't want to put all that pressure on your defense, and especially in today's NFL where the game seems to be built to score football points.
I think one of the biggest points in this game that turned it, I don't maybe not want to say turned it because it's not like Kansas City was in control, but Kansas City was facing 4th and inches at the Pittsburgh 12 with 27 seconds left in the half. Reed put the offense back onto the field. Timmons wanted nothing of it. Destroyed Charles behind the line. Will Allen piled on a little bit. Pittsburgh took the ball. They did kneel it. I was hoping they would try to score points, but pretty much after that, they weren't looking back, and that defense was pumped up by that big stop. I think they rode that momentum for the last 30 minutes of the game. They knew they were going to win this game.
Yeah, that play was huge. I jumped out of my seat after that play. That was definitely the biggest play of the game to me.
When they faked the field goal and Kelsey Grammer or Fraser Crane or whatever that dude's name was.
Travis Kelce.
Whenever he was running out, I didn't even think he got the first down. I tried to high-five Jeff, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, yeah, first down.
Yeah, I didn't think he did either, but I guess he obviously did. But like I said, it was after that they held him to a field goal anyways, and then that Jamal Charles run on 4th and 1 where they stopped them. 2 huge plays in the first half carried the momentum over to the second half, really, because they didn't let up any points this game. But yeah, they were getting burnt through the air. But I still feel the defense looked pretty good. Well,
my biggest problem with the defense this year for most of the year has been the untimely points. Maybe not even the amount of points. It's always right after the Steelers offense finally grind out a good long drive, take control of a game, score a touchdown, really take control of what's going on, and then the defense goes out and lets up a big play in 30 seconds, and you're right back to where you started. And the defense did none of that today. They bent a little bit. They let the yards come, and the yards came pure and plenty for Kansas City, but the points weren't even close. The Steelers shut it down as soon as they got their backs to the end zone. And I've said it 3 times, I think, already this segment. They won this football game for us. The offense didn't really do much to win this game for us. They were good enough. The defense was, dare I say, great.
The one thing I can say about the offense, what we wanted earlier this season was Le'Veon Bell to start scoring on the ground, especially late in the season.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it recently. I think 3 weeks in a row now he scored, correct?
Yep.
And 2 last week, 1 again this week, but still just 20 carries, 63 yards, and he wasn't even a factor in the passing game.
Only 1 catch for 9 yards.
That's surprising to me. When the game opened, they had that big pass to Martavis Bryant. I thought this was going to be a huge game for the offense because that's been a telltale sign for them this season. When Bryant starts making the big plays, the offense blows up. But then he wasn't even
Only
He,
ended
what,
up with
just
one
2
catch.
targets on, that one catch,
He
44
had 2
yards.
runs, I think, too, for probably about 9 yards.
And Wheaton had just 2 catches. So Bell 1, Bryant 1, Wheaton 2. And that's it besides Antonio Brown and Heath Miller.
Yeah, Heath Miller had a great ball game today.
Heath had a huge game. A lot of good third down catches, a lot of good over the middle catches, blocked real well as usual. Everybody keeps saying that this guy is washed up. How can you say that he is washed up? He's 30 or 31 years old. He might even be 32. I'm not positive on that. He's not a Pro Bowl tight end at all, but he's A, the best one the Steelers got, and B, a pretty damn good one, even if he's not a Pro Bowler.
You're right, but they are going to need to look at a tight end in the draft sometime soon.
I'm not saying you don't get another guy, but that doesn't mean he's washed up. Either
No, not
washed
at all.
up means you can't play anymore. Washed up was Ray Lewis his last year on his last ride to the Super Bowl. That was washed up.
Jamal Charles is a crybaby too. He was crying all game about everything. Did you see him out there?
Well, maybe Santa Claus didn't bring him anything.
I just hate KC, man. They're a bunch of crybabies. They go around kicking quarterbacks. Screw this
kicking
team.
quarterbacks. Andy Reid's so fat, he's probably over there eating Twinkies and forgot he was coaching a game, and he just started kicking the box because he was mad because he was out of the Twinkies. So the players thought they were supposed to try to kick Ben Roethlisberger because his leg, we wear the yellow pants, and it looked like a Twinkie.
Andy Reid. I just remember seeing a picture of him whenever he did that 10-year-old pass, punt, and run thing.
And he was like 8'5" and weighed 500 pounds. It looks like a child molester was out there.
They stole his kids like
In a
as big
uniform.
as Mike is. And
What was wrong with them? Why would they let that? Was ridiculous. Seriously, how was he that big as a kid? He was the same size as he was right now. Did you see that, Dash? Have you seen that picture?
No, I didn't.
You've never seen the video of
No.
Andy Reid in the punt, pass, and run.
I
I don't
look
think
at it,
so,
I'm
no.
like, damn. I'm like, this guy's at least like 16.
Do you remember earlier in the season we were just complaining about Mike Tomlin not being able to handle his team? This team was worst in the league with the most penalties. But ever since Tomlin said he was going to change it, he did. Again, just 4 penalties today.
Yeah, you want to talk about penalties? How about that 15-yard taunting penalty on William Gay?
Yeah, apparently you're not allowed to cross your arms anymore
Oh, yeah.
in football. So, folks, if you play football, if you have kids playing football, you need to teach them that if you cross your arms because maybe one's tired or you got to stretch it out a little, be aware because if the ref sees you, you're taunting the other team.
There was not even a chief around.
And then
Who is he taunting?
And then
his
you
own
s-
player? Who cares?
You see all these other games. We've seen 2 or 3 other NFL games where there was a bogus taunting penalty today. I swear to God, the NFL does stuff like this to put it on their agenda so now they can tackle taunting and teach young kids how to be better athletes and better people and not taunt people. And then, all these parents are going to run to, oh, the NFL's so great, they're teaching my kid not to taunt because they did it once in an NFL game. This is football, folks. If there's some taunting going on, you're lucky they're not kicking each other in the face.
Trash talking is part of the game.
You're out there literally trying to physically beat the crap out of the other guy until they can't play anymore so that you win the game. And taunting is the one thing you're worried about? Who cares?
Yeah, they're teaching these guys to go into games in beast mode. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the taunting is going to be part of the game. It's not a big deal. I got taunted all the time when I played football. Do you think I cried like a little baby? No, I didn't even care.
If somebody spits in your face, okay, then you know what I mean?
I tell you one thing I did have a problem
that's
with.
cool. That's not cool.
You'd be on the bottom of a pile, and
Oh,
some
yeah.
dude would just grab your balls. That's when you're like one of those mothers that have a child under a car. You're just like, whoosh! You just throw like 10 dudes off you at once.
That's why you got to wear a cup, man. Jesus, what are you doing out there with no cup?
Oh, no cup for me, man.
That's craziness. I would never be in a physical sport without a cup.
Yeah, I think I'd have to have a cup if
I wear a cup if I'm playing wiffle ball. You never know, that ball might curve right into your crotch.
I just got to be comfortable, and
It
cups
might nip-
never made me comfortable.
might nip
of course,
the
neither
tip.
do dudes grabbing my balls at the bottom of a pile.
All right, well, let's get back to a game where they're probably not grabbing each other's balls while they're playing.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I bet you Alex Smith would like to.
Well, what was your key to victory this week, Dash?
My key to victory was just make sure you stop Jamal Charles and offensively don't turn the ball over, and they seem to do both pretty well today. Easy's
Easy was special teams.
Yeah, Easy's
did
key to
nothing.
victory was special teams, which is a lost cause in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't even think it's going to be part of the game in 5 years.
And my key to victory has to be the defense. Timely stops, timely plays, pass rush, obviously the 6 sacks, and the 8 quarterback hits. You know, they didn't allow Alex Smith to get his first touchdown pass to a wide receiver. I mean, 12 points, we'll take it.
They kept talking
Anytime.
about Alex Smith, no touchdowns to a wide receiver during the game. Like, every time the offense got the ball, and it was making me mad because I kept thinking they were going to get it as soon as they said it, right after that play. I'd have been mad. I hate Alex Smith so much. You hate Kansas City, I hate Alex Smith.
I tell you what, though, I didn't say it in our Steelers segment, but I did mention Albert Wilson in our fantasy segment, and he said he may be the best receiver on Kansas City now. And he looked okay today.
Did he catch a touchdown pass?
No, he did not catch a touchdown pass.
All right, as long as we know that's clear.
Near to Dwayne Bowe.
Well, Pittsburgh's in the playoffs, guys. How does that make you feel? Great? Bad? Happy? Sad?
It's like being home
Elated.
again after a long vacation.
I was just thinking, the Steelers were 8-8 the past 2 years. What is the difference this year?
What is the difference this year?
I think their O-line looks better. I think Le'Veon Bell is having a breakout year. And I think defensively, it is the key turnovers.
When we have a running game as well as we've had this year compared to the last few, I mean, Bell's the first one to get 1,000 yards since Rashard Mendenhall was on the team, and he didn't even get it in his last year, I don't think. The offensive line definitely much, much better. Ben's on pace to be sacked the least amount in his entire career through at least 14 games in the season. The defense, you know, they've been so great in the past, it's hard for me to say, oh, the defense could be a reason why they're better than last year, because the defense isn't better than defenses we've had before, but I think they are a little better than last year. They're more resourceful. They're not getting an abundance of turnovers, but like you mentioned, it's just like timely turnovers, it seems like. They're giving up timely points early in the year, and now they're starting to get a few, timely stops, a few key turnovers in their own favor. It's going to be a tough year through the playoffs, but like I said earlier, I think we have just as good as a chance as anybody else.
It all will come down to Le'Veon Bell and Ben Roethlisberger.
And Brown's 5 for 50 streak, because if he don't get it, we can't win.
Well, on that note,
31 in a row now, correct?
I lost track at 2.
Well,
31 in a row.
It was 16 last season, all 16, and then 15 this year.
All right. Word.
Because the next game he does, it'll actually be 2 full years with at least 5 catches and 50 yards. And that'll give him also 120 receptions for the year also. Just over that.
Well, he's beast. I don't know if you want to call him the best receiver in Steeler history yet, because was he with the team in 2010 when we lost, maybe, but he definitely wasn't with us when we won our last one. So he's got to get at least 1 or 2 Super Bowls before I can really consider him the best in team history.
I'm still a big Hines Ward fan too myself, so.
Hines Ward was good, but he's nowhere near the athlete that
absolutely
Antonio
not.
Brown is, or the caliber. I don't know, I want to say caliber receiver, but Hines just did not have the quickness. He did not have the hands.
Charles Johnson
could jump dudes. Ernie Mills could go downfield like nobody's business.
Dwight Stone.
Andre Hastings going over the middle.
Lips.
Yancey Thigpen making diving catches and
I
pulling
like
his terrible
Yancey.
tail out.
Yeah, Yancey was a good receiver.
Pulled that terrible towel out of his hand warmer, and spun it around.
How
People
about Jeff
loved him.
Graham? Don't forget about Jeff Graham.
Edward mentioned that if Cincinnati was able to beat Denver this week, they could actually have a chance to jump up to the number 2 seed if they beat the Steelers next week.
The Bengals?
Yeah.
So does that mean if Cincinnati wins today and then we win next week, we're number 2?
No, it doesn't mean that.
Damn. Can we try to make it mean
But
that?
that is big. That means
We got
Cincinnati
Jeff.
has
I think
even
Denver
more to
would-
play
Denver
for
would
next
have to
week. That
lose
was a
twice.
good call by Edward there. We totally missed that.
We need the fans to help us out. We can't catch everything. Well, it's going to be an important game going into Cincinnati. It's at home this week? Or is it at
home.
Cincinnati?
No,
okay.
it's a home game.
Excuse me then. It's going to be an important game at home versus Cincinnati. Bengals are really going to want it. Andy Dalton's been playing like crap as the season goes on. Ben Roethlisberger is obviously the better quarterback. We definitely have a much better offense. The defense called a wash. You think Cincinnati's defense is better than ours?
They're pretty good, Jim.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
they let
tough
up less
interior.
points, and I guess that's all that really matters. But I'll take the Steelers' defense. Why not?
Well, the one thing that I'm annoyed about is this damn tie in Cincinnati, because we said it when it happened. It was going to screw up the division race. We also said that this game in Cincinnati would probably be for the division. We were right about both of those. You predicted the Steelers to go 10-6, and I predicted them to go 11-5. So one of us is going to be right there. So I think it kind of seems like we really know what we're talking about when it comes to Pittsburgh Steelers football.
You know what's scary, though? If the Steelers do come out and win next week, that means if we play the Bengals in the playoffs, we're going to have to beat them 3 times in a row.
We did it to Baltimore the one year.
Well, I mean, it can happen, but that's a very tough thing to do in the NFL.
I don't care. We can do it. Pittsburgh beat them once. They can beat them twice. They can beat them 3 times. They're going to have to come to Heinz Field again, because if we win the division, we get the home game.
Correct.
So bring them on. Let's beat them 2 weeks in a row.
I think the Steelers are better in Cincy, though. We talked about this before. So if they would happen to lose next week, it's not the end of the world, I don't think. So who's offensive player of the game?
Offensive player of this game?
Offensive player of this game.
Not the game we talked about 10 weeks ago?
No.
All right. Tough one. Can I give it to the whole O-line?
Yeah, you can give it to the O-line. Why not?
I mean, I'm not going to give it to Big Ben. He didn't really do anything outstanding. Bell didn't do anything outstanding. Brown didn't do anything outstanding. But the offensive line kept Bell upright. They kept Ben upright. They didn't allow that pass rush of Justin Houston and Tamba Ali come from the outside to sack Roethlisberger or really create too many problems. The defense for Kansas City actually tried to cheat and kick his leg out from underneath him and break his knee because they couldn't even get to him. So I'm going to give it to the whole O-line.
I think Antonio Brown played well enough to deserve it for me. He's been playing well all year, and we've been giving it to other people like Ben and the offensive line and Bill. I don't think we gave that many to Brown, so I'm going to give it to him this week.
It's harder for me to consider a wide receiver the biggest difference maker in a game.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to go with Heath Miller today, gentlemen.
Yeah, he came up with some big catches today.
Excellent work today. Great blocking, as we've mentioned earlier. You know, he had the 7 catches. Did drop that touchdown pass.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, it was.
You know, the one thing I've noticed, though, is Ben and Heath have such a great rapport together after being together for, 10 years almost now.
Yeah.
When Heath runs those routes right over the middle, he's pretty much just runs straight, and then all of a sudden, real quick, turns his head, and the ball's right there. Like, him and Ben know exactly when it's going to happen, but the defense has no shot. And if Ben's timing is on and Miller is healthy, it's almost an unstoppable play.
It is. He was great today.
All right, defensively, what do you think?
I'm going to split it up with 2 people. I'm going to go with Cameron Hayward and Stephon Tuitt.
2 young defensive linemen playing great football right now.
Tuitt was big today, so is Hayward, opening up those lanes for the linebackers, getting the job done, doing everything a 3-4 defensive lineman should be doing. So my hat goes off to Tuitt and Hayward today. Well done, gentlemen.
Hayward looked really good today. He had a sack and a half, and plus he had 3 hits on the quarterback.
He was definitely in beast mode today.
That dude is playing great football. For a 3-4 DN to get the type of pressure he does on a quarterback, that's a little bit uncanny. If the Steelers do end up going to a 4-3 defense when Dick LeBeau leaves, retires, petrifies, or whatever it happens to somebody at his age, it's gonna be tough. I think him and Tuitt on the inside, they could be 2 interior linemen. They don't have the speed rush from the outside, but they would put mad pressure up the middle. My defensive player of the game is going to have to be the old silverback, James Harrison.
Me too.
1.5 sacks. This dude, constant pressure on the quarterback. He was running down Alex Smith's back all day. He come into the game beat up. You know, he's been beat up the last couple games. He gives it 1,000 bleeping% every single play. I don't think there's a guy I've ever seen play football who literally wants to murder the quarterback as soon as they say hut. It's like hut is a racial slur or making fun of his wife or his children or something. When he hears that sound, he just wants to absolutely murder whoever has the football, and it's great to watch when he's on your team.
Yeah, I'll tell you what a pickup he's been this year.
Huge pickup. The Steelers' defense hasn't done great things this year, but he's done a few great things for them.
I'll tell you what, Harrison's, had he have played the whole year here, I'll tell you what, he's actually putting himself together a pretty good year.
If I remember correctly, he already said this is his last season, correct?
He also said when he retired that he was never going to play again because he didn't want it anymore.
It would be nice to see him come back next year. I know he's old, but I don't care. I want him on
I'll
the
take
team.
him at league minimum for a backup.
Me too.
He could be a difference maker. Well, I just don't know if he could handle the workload of starting, every game all year.
Maybe a few of these young outside linebackers could learn a thing or two about him.
Let's just fire Joey Porter and bring back Harrison as a player/coach, although he'd probably just shank all the players if they didn't listen to him. He's kind of mean, guys.
It was nice to see the Ravens lose today.
Bleep the Ravens.
Yeah,
They're
the
garbage.
Ravens.
I'd like to see them miss out on the playoffs. Joe Flacco looked like garbage
Bunch
today.
of felons.
Yeah, I never really was a big Flacco fan.
I don't think anybody was.
Overrated.
I can't be a fan of a guy who makes $1 million and still has a unibrow.
Yeah, take care of the unibrow, Joe.
Come on, man. Well, that wraps up our Week 16 Steelers recap. From the Spread Studio, I'm Jim Sella. Sitting here with J-Dash, Jeff Keel, feeling great because the Steelers made the playoffs. You guys, I don't know what else to say. Great.
I hate KC.
You hate KC. Well, that's all right. Well, I want to thank Jeff for being spread security today, not letting anything happen, anything go down. There will be no hostage situations at the Spread Studios. I want to thank you fans for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can like us on Facebook, subscribe to that YouTube channel. What else do we got to do, Dash? Like the YouTube channel?
Yeah, like each YouTube video. We need that.
I don't know all these technical words, like and click on.
Thumbs up.
And
Click that little
Facebook.
thumb thing.
Click the thumb thing, not the down one though.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Please believe.